He's not talking about the works of the law. So let's make a very fundamental distinction. Paul speaks of the works of the law, meaning the works mandated by the Torah of Moses, the Old Covenant. I repeat, the Old Covenant. And by that he means those particular Jewish identifying marks like Sabbath keeping, not eating unclean foods, and so on, circumcision in the flesh. But that's not what he's talking about here. This is not the works of the law of Moses. These are good works. They're positive works, things you do. Works are what you do. That's all that is, what you do. And they better be the sort of works that God and Jesus command in the new covenant, not the old. And those would be then all the fruits of the Spirit, things like not lying, not cheating, not committing adultery, fornication, not killing. All of those good things are necessary. Obedience. So I want to immediately bring in the word obedience. This will solve any problem you have in your mind. You have to have the obedience of faith. That phrase is a wonderful summary statement found framing the book of Romans. What do I mean by that? In Romans chapter 1 and again in Romans chapter 16, he talks about the obedience of faith. That's what you do. Obedience is what you do in response to a command, and it's done in faith. You cannot have faith in the biblical sense without obedience, and you cannot have obedience without faith. Those are the things you do by way of obeying God and Jesus, who give you the same things to do. These are Christian works, not, I repeat, not to be confused with the works of the law of Moses in the letter. That's a particular set of now extinct in the letter laws that Jesus said, you've heard certain things in the past. You've heard, for instance, that Moses gave a prescription for divorce in one particular situation. But I, Jesus, am telling you something different. So do not ever fall under the spell, please, of the mistaken idea that the law of Moses is something that is no different from the law of Messiah. If you do that, you're relegating Jesus to the old covenant. You're losing him as your master, your commander. That is actually perhaps the most fundamental mistake you can make. Jesus is the minister, as he said himself, as it says in Hebrews. He's the minister of the new covenant, not the old. Paul himself said that he, Paul, was a minister of the new covenant. That's to say, in the spirit and not in the letter of the law of Moses. That distinction is fundamental to any Bible study, I suggest.